Hey, my name's Kevin Kim. I'm 19 years old. I grew up in Warren Springs, and I think a lot of kids with me and my friends that grew up in Warren Springs, the cool thing about it was that we all live walking distance to each other, 10 minutes at most. Some of my best friends, we all would just like meet up at one place, and we took a lot of pride living there in Warren Springs. I think a lot of families kind of knew that with our friends because my parents wanted to move when I was a little kid, but they knew like a lot of my friends and a lot of my connections in terms of just staying happy was in Warren Springs, and even some of my other friends, their parents didn't want to move just because, hey, this is Warren Springs. Warren Springs was home. This is home for them, so yeah. Warren Springs was big on baseball. Warren Springs Little League, whether you're good or bad at it, you just played, and it was just fun. I made a lot of friends through baseball. I think almost every single one of my friends from Warren Springs played baseball, and it was pretty big there. My dad smoked a lot. Typical Korean. Smoked a lot, drank a lot. As a kid, we'd always tell him oh, don't do that, don't do this. You're gonna get sick, Dad. You're gonna get sick. And then for some reason, I was just saying it, just to say it. Not in my mind would I ever think something bad would happen to him. Then I remember when I was middle school one day, he started feeling really sick. He started feeling some chest pains. He had a heart attack, I think, sometime around there, and things just got pretty serious. And so we took him to the doctors, and he got his scans and stuff. And I remember a week later, my sister got a call from the hospital. The doctor called my sister because parents couldn't speak English, so all the contact information go to my sister, and she was like, "Oh, hello," and then the only thing my sister says, "Okay, all right, okay," and that was it. My dad was like, "Oh, was that the doctor? Was that the hospital? What'd they say?" And my sister was like, "Oh, well, you're diagnosed with pancreatic cancer." This is the first time when I've seen any face go blank. People talk about that. It was weird to see such a shocking look on my dad's face at that moment. And I don't know what was going on in my dad's head. Kind of all talked to us together, brought us together that night, and then he said, "Hey, I have cancer, but that doesn't mean anything. Let's win this as a family, because we're a family, and that's what families do." And I remember kind of walking upstairs, putting a blanket over my head. I was 12 at the time. I think I was 13. And I remember crying myself to sleep. We all had to be a bit tougher than we were before. And it was like that for a long time, for a good 3 years when I was in high school. At the time, I thought he looked fine. The guy was walking real well, and he was getting up in the morning, exercising, eating healthy. It seemed like it was gone, but I guess in the top of his mind, back of his brain, he knew, I'm gonna die soon. I was in the car with him one night, and we're just talking. I remember I asked him when he met my mom and just stuff like that, and then I remember he told me all this stuff, he met my mom through his friends and stuff, and then right after that, he said, hey, when I leave, you got to be man of the house. I was like, you got to take care of your mom, okay? And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, why are you telling me this, man? I'm 15. And, like he just said, I remember he told me, like, just listen to me, like, don't do anything stupid. Make sure, like, because when you become man of the house, like, you make damn sure, like, everything's okay? I was like, all right. I think a month later, right after that conversation, he started getting real bad, really drastically. He got jaundice, his eyes were yellowing. He had to lay in bed all day. When I saw my dad like that, it kind of broke me. Like you can't even walk anymore, man. Like, what happened? I remember, like, sitting next to him in bed one day while he was, like, laying down, kind of just laying through life. I asked him, like, hey, like, so how much time do you think you have left? And then he said, honestly, I think I got 3 weeks. I think that's the first time I ever cried with my dad. That's the only time. And it hurt a lot to know this guy that's right next to me is going to pass away in about a couple weeks. And then I went to the other room, and then he called my sister right after. My dad just, kind of just opened up, like, I miss you so much. And that's a tough feeling. School kept me happy in some way. At the same time, I hated school, but all my friends were there, so the best friends anyone can ask for. So, I wasn't alone in this fight. My family wasn't alone, so it was real nice to have. But eventually, my dad left, and I remember coming home. I went out that day, came back home, and my mom told me, Kevin, your dad's gone now. I was like, what? What do you mean he's gone? Like, she said, Kevin, he's gone. I got really mad at my dad. I got mad at a dead guy. I remember sitting on my bed, crying and just yelling to myself, in my head, like, why do you leave when we need you the most, man? Years later, I found out what a family was. He probably taught me the best lesson any dad can teach their kids, and it's how to love a family, and how to appreciate your family. Everyone's got their own thing, and the way I saw it was, I'm not going to compare losing a dad to losing a mom. And right now, I never know what's going to feel like to lose a mom, because that's a totally different thing. And so when someone loses something in life, I just want to be there. I don't want to be the guy that's saying, I know how you feel, because I don't know how you feel. It kind of made me realize there's a lot more people that go through, even worse stuff. And there's a lot of people that I can look up to at the same time. And so, look your best every day. Just smile.